Hi everyone, thank you for checking out my first video. A few days ago, the woman pictured made a TikTok on pretty privilege that garnered enough interesting but predictably negative feedback that I thought this is an easy start to making content on this channel. I did see Exoticals United beat me to the punch in uploading, and I'm going to wait until after this is up to watch her take. I'm sure there will be a few similarities. The backlash to this lady can be summed up as follows. When people want to humble you, they will contradict themselves and be extremely disingenuous. The original video was deleted, but there are multiple stitches still around. The woman, who identified herself as biracial, basically said pretty privilege is real, and that all her life she had been praised for her light skin, eyes, and hair. But this also came with some hate. She mentioned an experience where, in a group of women, a man they were communicating with seemed to pay her extra attention, though she wasn't saying that had to be because of her looks. A pretty mild post, especially since she was vague about who the haters or whatever even were. Didn't describe anyone, but the general takeaway was her thinking that she is better than black people or darker-skinned people. The reactions were more based on projections than what this lady said or even implied. So, first thing, people are telling this woman that she is confusing the benefits she gets from having light skin, light eyes, and a looser curl pattern with pretty privilege. But wouldn't pretty privilege be tied to the beauty standard of the time and place someone is in? This woman is in the United States, where beauty standards of the majority culture have been and still are tied to whiteness, even with some shifts to more racial ambiguity and an exotic look. I know this is basic stuff, but I want to break it down. All of the isms, colorism, texturism, featureism, in the United States stem from this standard. So what's the point in trying to divorce them from pretty privilege? The fact that there are beautiful, unambiguous black women who can benefit from pretty privilege doesn't negate the fact that these elements are intertwined. It's kind of like understanding the difference between all and only, right? Second, you do not have to be considered the most beautiful woman in the world to benefit from pretty privilege, or, as it was more widely known before social media discourse, attractiveness privilege, which was the term I've seen it studied under. The same way when people talk about white privilege, they know you don't have to be the whitest person to have it. According to Penn State's Applied Social Psychology page, the definition of pretty privilege is the idea that people who are viewed as more attractive or prettier than others receive more opportunities, attention, and rewards. Do you think you have to be Miss Universe for that to apply? Do you have to be given a movie role while having no acting abilities because your face is so film-friendly for that to apply? Do you need a billionaire to wife you after seeing you while being driven past the bus stop for that to apply? No. Because, while I saw people saying that compliments aren't a sign of privilege, that some guy being more interested in her in a group setting isn't privilege, even though those are attention and possibly rewards. Who's to say that her looks haven't privileged her in more important aspects of life? The examples she used aren't compelling, but it's silly to act like it's impossible that her prettiness wasn't a factor in more consequential things. And I don't say that to diminish any pretty woman's accomplishments. And this woman has a master's according to a follow-up video that seems to be deleted. But a lot of people think they are an objective arbiter of beauty and can determine if pretty privilege has been bestowed on a stranger. Most people throwing their 2 cents out there online don't have enough of anything to bestow on anyone, and the same goes for me. Other disingenuous things I noticed was using her being overweight in the past and currently wrinkles due to age and likely weight loss against her. Since when can't bigger women or older women be considered pretty enough for pretty privilege? And while, of course, I don't want any woman to experience mistreatment based on age or size, do you think that these same people would have the same energy if others directed what they would acknowledge as fat phobia and ageism to an unambiguous black woman? In most cases, probably not. I've been online for years, and I've seen the kind of double standards that people excuse based on the privilege argument. And one more thing that I may expand on in a separate video is how attractive women with unusual or striking features will be ridiculed and compared to animals, cartoons, fictional characters in a really disparaging way, to humble them when they don't even comment on other people's looks themselves. I notice this more typically in women who are not part of the majority group. In this case, a lot of non-white women will be expected to have a more conventional beauty look by commenters online than white women. The lady discussed was compared to E.T. mostly due to her wide-set large eyes. But I thought of the actress Amanda Seyfried, who has similar eyes. That alien-esque beauty is a thing. Also see Anya Taylor-Joy, and was especially promoted in early 2000s high-fashion modeling, but doesn't seem as acceptable for non-white women. Anyway, thank you for listening, and tell me what you think. Enjoy your day.